What is up? It is Qualification here. We are back. I'm gonna do something a little bit different. Something I've been wanting to do basically since I left in November. We're be talking about my bootcamp experience in the Navy. For those of you that may not know, I am in the Navy right now. Went to bootcamp in November. Did bootcamp. Did A school. Here on leave for a little bit before I go out into the fleet and do my Navy stuff. So right now, like I said, I'm trying to do like streaming and Navy, kind of balancing out, trying to figure out how I'm gonna do all that, and how that's all gonna kind of work out. Hopefully, my plan works and everything works together, but we shall see. Yeah, you know, boot camp is definitely an experience that not a lot of people go through, not a lot of people finish. So I am, you know, happy I can go through it just to give a little bit of background and context. So I left in November, and they were still doing the 8 weeks boot camp. My division group was the last one that did the 8 weeks. After that, they moved to the 10-week boot camp. So we're going to take a look at Business Insider's YouTube video about what their point of view of the 10-week bootcamp is, and then I will kind of have my commentary. I think I have like 2 or more videos. Another inspiration about this was Jameson's travels video he just recently posted up about the 10-week bootcamp. He actually has a friend of mine in his video. I know her fairly well. We went to A school together, so also kind of another reason why I wanted to do this, kind of get my point of view. It's a little bit different from hers. Everyone goes to boot camp for different reasons. I did it mainly to get out of home, see the world, travel, and increase my skills in photography, videography, and hopefully somehow transition that to streaming as I grow and whatnot. So we're gonna get into this. I'm gonna lower the Spotify so that the so it's not so overpowered of a video. I might just turn it off. Yeah, I might just press pause. Press pause on the Spotify. We're gonna go over to here. So I'm gonna move my camera. Try to find a good place to put it. I think down here. Let's go down here. And then if we need to, if I need to say something, I'll just go to Facecam. It's fine. It works. We'll make it work. All right. So, first thing here, you know, these are racks. This is where we slept. This is a petty officer of some sort. Can't really see what his rank is. You can tell he's a petty officer because he has tan and black. If he had tan and tan, it's a chief. It's a simple way to make that known. And then, of course, these are recruits wearing the N-dubs, NWUs.
Get off my deck now! Get off my deck now!
Okay. So, real quick. If you saw in his hand, he has a blue card. So, they're getting IT'd for something. So, if your division is screwing up, messing up beyond. Actually, hold on. I am going to put it on Spotify so it's not just me talking. But put it down really low. If you mess up really bad, you get IT. Divisional training. And they have a card that kind of tells you what they're allowed to do to punish you. Gives them different workouts and whatnot. That guy in the corner, in the back, over here, he looks like he's SIQ. He has his mask on and he's laying in bed in PT clothes and he's not in N-dubs. So I would assume that he's somewhat in SIQ. Kind of curious on why there's boots here and where these people are at, because they should be wearing their boots.
Get off my deck now! Get off my deck now! 1, 2, 3. 19 messaging. 1,
Oh, Master Chief. Okay. Jeez.
This division of U.S. Navy recruits is in week 3 of their 10-week boot camp.
Get him up, Holcomb. It's supposed to hurt. Down.
They're enduring what's known as an intensive training exercise, or ITE session.
They just call them ITs.
Get there.
It lasts.
So it looks like it's a division of just straight men. So there's 3 types of divisions you can have. You can have all female, which is 80 female, all males, which is 80 males, or a integrated division. I was part of a 900 division, which was integrated. We had about 60 males and about 30 females, I think. I think it was at 26, but something like that. And yeah, I think this is the Master Chief. I can't see his pants, and it's really hard to see his collar device, but it does look like an anchor. So I would assume at least he's a chief, but I don't know if he's the Master Chief they're talking to. Thing about Master Chief is Master Chief is one of the highest enlisted position in the military, in the Navy. So he's up there. You don't want to get him mad. You don't want to get him on your bad side. It's crazy that Master Chief is actually an RDC.
For about 40 minutes without a break.
Opposition! I told you yesterday I was going to get mine. Y'all been pissing me off for a week. Between not working together, thinking this is a joke, and it's not. You arguing, not wanting to step up to lead.
Yeah, that's
You're
Master
the leader,
Chief.
you follow. That's simple. Stop with this individuality and work as a team.
It takes everyone a little bit, I think, to realize the big message. We are one family, we are one team. There are no more individuals. IT is not fun. It's to help you remember what you did wrong so that you don't do it again.
We had enough? Yes, no, the we have it.
It's funny, you can hear someone say yes, Chief, and just Master Chief. Don't ever call a senior chief or a Master Chief a chief. That's one way to continue getting motivated, I think is what they call it, how we say it at least. Yeah, individuality is not a thing. That's the one thing about boot camp is what it's supposed to do. A lot of people go there thinking that they're going to do it for themselves and their own personal gains, and they want to do it all me, myself, and I. And that's not what the Navy's about, especially the Navy, I think. Because in the Navy, you're on a ship, You're out in the middle of the ocean. If something goes wrong on that ship, it is you and your shipmates. That is it. No one is going to come to help rescue. If there's a fire, you guys put it out. If there's a leak, you guys plug it. And so you have to kind of come together as a group. Even if you don't like each other, you don't have to like them. There's a way to work with people without liking them. So that's what people need to know about going into boot camp, is that you're gonna have people you don't like. I had people I didn't like, but I worked with them. And then at the end, when we were all handing out our phone numbers and our Instagrams and Snapchats, I was like, yeah, I don't want yours. And they probably didn't want mine. Some people don't like me. It is what it is. And not everyone gets along with everyone, but you still have to work with them. Definitely, there are moments where I know for me, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it for me and my own gains. But there are also times where I'm like, yeah, I need to work as a team, work with people around me, help each other out.
This is Navy.
So these are the terrible. I hate these PT uniforms. They're so ugly in my opinion. But it is what it is. We have to wait for PT. So they're running formation run. I don't know if this is one of the extended runs that they did. But this is Freedom Hall. We had to run this 12 times to hit the 1.5 miles. In boot camp, they give us little ankle monitors that tracks us every time we do a lap. Fun. People said it was stuffy and they didn't like how it was in there and it was hard to breathe. I didn't have a problem with it, and I'm not the best runner by any means. Now I will say I went in. So my boot camp was started in November, and I ended in February, February 4th, and I left November 18th. So I was basically in Chicago, Great Lakes, for the whole winter. So it was freezing cold outside. So going to Freedom Hall was so awesome because it was warmer in there. I liked being in there. Now, having to put so we would run, right? We would run, do our workouts, trainings, whatever. So we're all sweaty, we're all hot. Then they make us put on all of our parka gear, which is super heavy, super hot because it's for the cold. So you're just waiting in formation with everything, and you're just sweating and hot, and agitated, waiting for everyone to line up. It was, that was the worst. But when we got outside, it was cold. Everything cooled off. It was fun.
Boot camp. Every year, more than 40,000 recruits graduate before becoming...
So, we never wore the recruit ball cap. Like I said, it was wintertime, so you don't wear the recruit hat. You wear a knitting cap. Covers your ears a little bit better, keeps you a little bit warm. This is more during the summertime, so we never really wore that. We did wear it when we were on watch, but that's about it.
Sailors and officially joining
Just
the
whites,
fleet.
I love them.
It happens here at Recruit Training Command Great Lakes, located about 35 miles north of Chicago. RTC Great Lakes is the only boot camp for enlisted U.S. Navy sailors.
Who's going to a submarine? Yeah. Why?
More money?
More money? Absolutely. 100%.
They
So, for those of you that are thinking about joining the Navy, joining the boot camp, this right here, what they're about to do is, it looks like they're about to start battle stations. For us, it was nighttime. So, I don't know why they're in here when it's daylight in the background. But for us, it was nighttime. But I remember being in here with the red lights. But we were kind of towards the back, so they didn't really talk to us. I would never do submarine. I'm so glad I'm not doing submarine, and the job that I have will never put me on a submarine, or maybe for like a week or so, but that's about it. He said for more money. The money they offered me, I was like, ain't no way. You can't be paying me enough money to get crammed into a submarine. Submariners are a different breed.
base pay for enlisted sailors is about $22,000 a year. Sailors commit to actively serve for at least 4 to 6 years, depending on their specialty or rate.
There is no
So, for those you don't know, rate is the job, basically. Your other branches call it MOS. We call it a rate. My rate is MC, Mass Communication Specialist. So it's just basically what are you going to be doing in the Navy.
special skills required prior to signing that commitment. We were able to take any civilian off the street and transform them into a smartly disciplined, physically fit, basically trained sailor.
That's a Master Chief.
Boot camp begins with the night of arrival.
Let's go! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Buses driving from O'Hare Airport bring about 100 new recruits to the recruit-in processing facility.
Let's go!
We want to put them in a stressful environment to show them that even though it might be stressful for them, they can get through it.
You're moving too slow!
And then it kind of like sets the tone for the rest of training.
What the are you looking at, guy? Where did I tell you to look? Where? Where did I tell you to look? Welcome to Recruit Training
Hold
Command.
on.
I'm Chief Walters. I'll be one of your facilitators.
So this does bring back memories. Kind of different. Okay, so with us being the last group of 8 weeks, we were also the last group that did ROM, restriction of movement. So basically what happened was we got off the bus. You know, they're yelling at us, move, 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 and we're all kind of figuring out, going to this exact location. I think this is in the Pearl Harbor. I forgot I don't know if this area has an exact name to it. We rarely went. We went here to do this, and then we walked through it a few times, and then that's it. We're rarely in this area. We're lined up, and they tell us, okay, you guys are doing restriction of movement. For COVID, for quarantine, you're going to be gone for 2 weeks. You're going to be in holding for 2 weeks. And then you'll start boot camp. So a lot of these RDCs were yelling at us, but at the same time, they were like, hey, just move. Like, because they're not our RDCs. So they couldn't really yell at us. We haven't gone through the processing, which we call P days, processing days. So they couldn't really technically do anything to us. It was kind of weird. It was a weird kind of limbo I didn't like. But yeah, we had to look at the floor, chin down, don't look up, and you just don't look up. You just look down, you listen to what they said. I made sure to not bring a jacket because they said, if you have a jacket, do this rule. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to bring a jacket. It's going to be easier for me. Yeah.
This evening. When I tell you to, you will remove your cell phone. You're going to call home. Call your parents. Call your recruiter. I don't care who. But you're going to let them know that you arrived here safely. You have 1 minute. Go.
See, I'm mad about that. So for me, they told us grab your phones, raise it up over your head, and then here's a script that you have to say word for word. And you have to tell your parents or whatever, whoever your guardian, whatever, this script. So I called my dad. It's I think like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't pick up the first time. So I was like, oh, what do I do? So I just left a message, and halfway through the message, he called me back. And I just had to read the script, and then after the script, I just said, I love you, and hung up. Like, that was it. We never got to say whatever we wanted. Some people apparently didn't say the script, but I know I had a script. I was like, the chief, the petty officer was in front of me. I wasn't going to go off the script with him right in front of me. I just kept to it.
Hey, I just made it in.
I don't have long to speak, but I just want to tell you
Yeah, see, I didn't have a chance to do
I made
that.
it safely, but I'm okay.
You have 45 seconds. Hurry up.
I'll get through it. I gotta go, Mom.
I called my mom. It was definitely emotional, though, because you kind of know.
This one kid, he wasn't in front of me, but he was like a little bit too, I think, the right or the left. I don't know what was happening with his phone. I don't know what was happening with the person he was calling. But I remember, I think you have to, hold your phone up when you're done. So everyone's holding their phone up besides this one kid. And he's just freaking out. I don't know who's trying to call. The petty officer was yelling at him, like, bro, who are you calling? Why haven't you finished? This and the other. It's like, oh, I just got through. And so everyone's holding their phone up, and he's just like, hey, Mom, yeah, I love you. It was because it was dead silent. No one was talking. Petty officers were just looking at him, waiting. And so he was just all by himself while 80 people are looking at him.
Contact your family for a little bit.
Love you very much. You guys have a good one. Bye.
You understand the words coming out of my mouth? Yeah. What are you saying yes to? Yes, Chief. What is your problem, guy? What is your problem? Why are you moving so slow?
There's always one.
You're on my time now, not your time. Hurry up.
It was brutal. I won't lie. It was a culture shock. You are learning pretty much how to be a new human.
You do not know what the you're supposed to be doing at any given time. You will stand at attention until told to do otherwise. At no point in time will you look a staff member in the eyes. That's rude and disrespectful.
You got to do the 1,000-yard stare.
Is that understood? Yes, Chief. How about some motivation? Is that understood? Yes, Chief.
Recruits receive their ditty bags.
Hey, hurry up. Let's go. Get your socks off my table. Let's go.
Which hold their different uniforms,
So,
hygiene products, and basic items they'll need for boot camp.
I remember going through this and grabbing everything. And I don't know why. Every single time we got a piece of clothing, whether it was the underwear, the shorts, the shirts, the uniforms, whatever we got, someone always had an issue. It was the same 3 people over and over again. If you want an easy experience, right, don't look at them in the eye. Say, yes, petty officer, yes, chief, no petty officer, no chief, whoever they are. And then just listen. Bro, the amount of people that messed up because they didn't listen to what they said. We had to, it was stupid stuff. Move the box and this part of the desk, right? That was it. And people would move it to the other side. I'm like, so sometimes the petty officer would be mad at the people around because they're like, why didn't you help him out, bro? He's being stupid, but you need to help him out. So, make sure you're doing what you got to do. Make sure that you're listening, and then help the people around.
Go.
And move fast.
Recruits
Move with a
must provide
purpose.
Urine samples to make sure they have no drugs in their system.
You don't have to run, but move with a
Those who
purpose.
can't immediately provide a sample are ordered to hydrate until they can.
Yeah.
Although male and female recruits sleep in different compartments, some train in gender-integrated divisions. After being assigned to divisions, recruits wait to meet their...
this is what's different from me and I guess my experience and people with my division as opposed to these people. Literally, so we finished our year in Temple, we finished getting all of our stuff, and they threw us into this room, and they were like, they separated the vaccinated from the unvaccinated, and they said, well, you guys are in quarantine now for 2 weeks. Have fun. You know, basically. They said don't go. They put us in like groups of 8, and they said don't go outside these groups of 8. You're not really supposed to be in other people's area because they don't want to spread any COVID. And then we would have RDCs, not our RDCs, observe us and then just watch us. We weren't allowed to sleep really. We weren't really allowed to PT. We weren't allowed to go outside. So we literally just sat there. We talked and we studied and we read. That was it for 2 weeks. I don't have to say that's probably one of the hardest 2 weeks I've been through, just mentally, just because like the first few days, you know, you're with your buddies or with these random people that turn out to be your buddies. You know, you get to know them, you know, for the first 2-3 days. You know, figure out where they're from, why they joined the Navy, what their, you know, suspected rate is going to be. And then you just kind of run out of questions to ask. You ask everything within the first 2 to 3 days. And so now you're just trying to figure out what you're going to do for the next, you know, week and a half. And like I said, those RDCs that were watching us, they couldn't really do anything to us. Like I said, because we haven't gone through the full P days. So these people are about to meet their RDCs like the night of. We didn't have a chance to do that. We had to wait 2 weeks. I'm so glad they got rid of it. Those are joining now don't have to go through that. It was mentally exhausting, but I wish I would have met my RDCs the night of.
Recruit Division Commanders, or RDCs.
Get the up! Let's go!
Turn around, back the up!
Signified by their red shoulder cords, these RDCs will be with the division until they graduate from boot camp.
Did we say you could talk?
They want to be here to be sailors. So that's our job, to train them, to help them get there.
Why are we so slow? Hey, you, isn't he taller than you? Yes, Chief, no, Chief, I, Chief.
We're not their friend.
So I'm going to try to see if I can find the other video from the other, I think the other Business Insider video, where it's that one chief, and he's like, yes, Chief, no, Chief, maybe, Chief. I think she tried to replicate that. It didn't work to the effect that he did, because he was spot on. I'm gonna try to find it, because we would say it in our division, you know. And apparently he left like just as we got there, and I was so mad. I wanted to meet him and talk to him. But yeah, everything's height's everything. So I was always up in the front because I'm short. If you're tall, just think about it. Just don't always be in the back. Those people that are like 5'9", there's a lot of 5'9" people. So you're just going to have to hopefully do it by eyes and be like, oh, I think you're slightly taller than me, or am I slightly taller than you? And just hope for the best.
We're here to make them sailors.
Why are you looking at recruit? Do I owe you anything?
You want them to be uncomfortable.
Don't look at them.
Them out of their comfort zone. Bootcamp is hard,
just
but
to
when you go out to the fleet, if you make
help
a mistake,
you.
You're going to kill somebody. Right? Now his lives are at stake. So we want them to understand that the bigger picture.
Male recruits have to
So they line us up, right? And they're like, run your fingers through your hair. If you have any bumps or moles, you know, point to it. You know, luckily for me, I don't have any bumps or moles on my head. But they're like, let us know, because these razors will cut everything. And if they cut these moles or bumps and you start bleeding, you might get kicked out, or you might have to get, you know, sent back. And this was after the 2 weeks of Rob. So we already been in for 2 weeks. So I'm like, oh my God. Like, do I have this mystery mole that's going to pop up? And I was so terrified for absolutely no reason.
shave their heads.
Because I literally just spent like 5
Pull
seconds
their
to do
hair
like,
back in a bun, or wear it down, as long as it does not extend below the back of the collar.
Yeah, for females, we had people that had all 3 types. People had it in the buns. Some people had it short. Like this female right here. Some people had it like her short. But some people also had it like her short, or like I think it's like what to like a bobcat or whatever. I think it was the longest. She's smart. I would just do it like this. If I was a female, just shave it up short. You don't have to really worry about it ever again. Some people went. I saw some people that also went just completely bald, and I was like, hey, if it works for you, it works.
The new recruits pay their first visit to the galley, where they eat in silence and stare straight ahead until they're dismissed.
Table 8, get up and get out!
They'll need their strength for their first
This
test
is
of boot camp.
reminds me of everything. So the galley, the food was actually pretty decent. Not gonna lie, it was okay. Like it wasn't like it had a menu cycle. So you know, after a while you're like, oh, I already had this before. But it is what it is. It was decent. You know, I try to eat the healthier stuff. I was chubbier, so I was trying to lose weight. I kind of gained it back, so I'm trying to lose it again. But eat in silence was a stretch because we would, you know, we're kids. You know, I at the time I was 24, but there was, you know, people 18 to I think like 30, all ranges, all in between. So of course, like the 18-year-old ones are like, I'm gonna push the envelope. I'm gonna talk to you, and so you know it's, hey, can I get that food? Yeah, here's your food. Or and then it became bolder, like, hey, look at it. So we're integrated, so it's males and females, and so usually, you know, the males are trying to hit on the girls. It was, you know, not the greatest, and so but you would have to be watching for the RDCs, because if the RDCs saw you caught talking, it was not fun. Then you went to we would have what was the first thing? I think it was an RDC assessment, but basically it was a baseline. It was how well can you do with push-ups, planks, and running. And they did the pacer test. I never did pacer in high school, but you know it's a pacer test where you have to run to one side and back as fast as before. So it would go beep, you run back, and then it would beep, and then you run, and it just keep going. There's a certain number you have to get for certain ages. Everything's by age. You have alpha male and female, Bravo male and female, Charlie, Delta, Echo, and I think there's a Foxtrot, but I don't know how old you are in Foxtrot. I know I was Charlie, now I'm Delta. So everything kind of changes. And, you know, of course, the older you are, the lower your requirements are. But for us, I don't know how it is on the 10-week boot camp. We got our shots the day before our assessment. I mean, all of our shots. So I had my COVID shot. I had the other 6 shots that they needed to give me, and then I also had the peanut butter shot, which goes straight into the butt. And it's uncomfortable. You know, some people say it's the worst pain ever. It's not that bad, but it is very, very uncomfortable, and it does kind of hurt, especially for running. And so that was an experience.
An initial physical assessment known as the pacer test.
Everyone up.
Oh, actually, for some advice for the taller people, I never had this issue. So when you have to do your planks, you have to go on the mat. You have to be either completely all on the mat, so that means your arms plus your toes have to be all on the mat, or all off the mat. And I say that you have to do one or the other. So if you're tall and you're taller than these mats, I had a few guys that were taller than the mats, you cannot use the mats. It's just how it is. There was one guy who had his toes just barely off the mat, but they were off the mat, and the people almost disqualified him for his plank because he wasn't completely on or off. So pay attention to that. If you do use a mat of some sort, or you're like in a cushioned area and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have like cushion and whatnot. If you're tall, you may or may not. You know, I would, you know, just make sure you're all on or all off.
Timed intervals of push-ups, planks, and running.
Not every recruit shows up where they need to be. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Put your hands by your side. Look at everybody else next to you. Fix yourself.
If we identify individuals that are struggling, then we can curtail the training to make sure everyone's on a level playing field to be successful.
Recruits have 2 chances to pass the test. If they fail, they're recycled into another division where they'll keep trying until they can move forward.
Swimming.
In week
Oh
1,
gosh.
recruits are tested on their ability to swim.
So, you know, everyone knows swimming's coming. Everyone knows swimming's coming up. Before boot camp, I haven't been in a pool for years at that point. You know, it's been a long time since I've been in a pool, just for whatever reason. I'm not a big swimmer, so I don't really go to pools. I don't really go. If I go to the beach or something, you know, I'm like in the water for a little bit, but I'm mainly out in the sand doing stuff. Same way with like the lakes. I'm usually on the sand or the shore, so I don't really go out swimming. So so they line you up right here are like the bathroom area. So they kind of line you up on here on these bleachers. And they were like, if you can't swim or you don't feel comfortable swimming, sit up in these front bleachers right here. And so I was like, well, you know, I don't want to seem like I don't know how to swim, but I don't feel comfortable. And I remember my recruiter, I think it was one of my recruiters or someone that I knew, it said, hey, listen, it's not going to be a count against you in the military or during boot camp if you, hold on, let me turn that down just a little bit. If you don't know how to swim, just if you don't feel comfortable, you know, just take the course. So if my word to you is if you don't know how to swim, do it. And if you haven't been in a pool in a long time and you don't feel comfortable or confident in your swimming, I would say do it. So what they do, right, is you see this pool back here. It's like, I think like 3 or 4 feet. You know, you can stand in it. Most people at least can, unless you're really, really short. You can stand in this. And this lady, for me, it was a lady that basically, like, it sounded like she smoked like 12 packs a day. She was like, feel the water. The water is your friend. The water ain't gonna hurt you. Stuff like that. Yeah, they do different stuff. You know, hold your breath in the water, do this, do that, lay on your back, lay on your stomach. And one of the petty officers that was there pulled me out and said, hey, you're fine. You don't need to be in here. I don't know why you're in there. You're good. Get out. So everyone else goes up this ladder up here to these to the platform to jump off. I can't remember if this is 20 foot or 10 foot. Because there's a platform back behind this room that's also, I think, 10 or 20. I think this is 20 and the other one back there is 10. I think. It's been, you know, a minute. So I'm standing up right here, trying to get in line for these people that are going up here. And I'm freaking out, bro. I see this tower. You see it. It's huge. And you just see these people jump off and swim. You have to jump off here and swim 50 meters to the very end. And it's already got in the water, so I'm already wet. So now I'm standing up here, so now I'm freezing. All these people are dry because I haven't gotten in the water yet. But I've already been in the water, so I'm freezing. I see all these people jump in.
God forbid you're in that abandoned ship scenario where you have to need the safety of your ship. The Navy has deemed that we need to be able to implement a swim qualification to ensure your safety and the safety of your shipmates. Everyone in the Navy has to have. So they have a class 3 swim qual is what they call it. You could try doing it class 2, but from what I understand, most people fail it. So you have to climb into the tower, you jump off, you swim for 50 meters, whatever method you want. If you do the swim class, they recommend doing the backstroke. It's the most easiest. You know, you're on your back, you're just floating, you're just going. That's what I did. I was on my back. I was just looking up and just breathing. I wasn't hyperventilating, but breathing, looking around, just like see where I was so I don't hit the wall, but orient myself. But before, so they say you jump into the water. They actually push you. I wish I would have known that. When I went up to the tower, you're at the back
And the two people jump off, and then they say, okay, come forward, put your toes over the edge. And then when I say go, you push one foot over and you jump over. Yeah, they pushed me. I was not ready for that. I thought I was gonna be ready, but I wasn't ready for the push. But I made it. I mean, I'm here. It wasn't as bad. Once you cross your legs and you just hold your nose and you just go down. I swam back up. I just started doing the backstroke, and it's pretty chill. So then you have to do where you have the coveralls. You have to splash water into it. I think they're probably gonna show it. You have to hold it. Bro, I think it was a joke. Because literally, like, I know for me, I just started splashing. I just held it, like, all right, get out. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess that was good enough. I had one guy in A school tell me that he barely splashed air into it, and they're like, hey, you're good. It's like, I thought it was pretty stupid. But then you have to tread water or float for 5 minutes. Don't tread water. Just float if you can float. You can. I think you hurl over, and then you float, and then you come back up, and then you tread a little bit, breathe water, and then you curl back over and you float. That is the best way of doing it. I treaded water, and it was, oh my gosh. So you had to do it. I think it was like what, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I think it was 5 minutes. And I was about to give up. I was so close to just like, I was like, my arms are so tired. I can't do this anymore. And this one guy starts moving, and he's like, he starts moving to the edge so that he could get out. And the petty officer there was like, hey man, you got 30 seconds, bro. You don't want to do this. You don't want to get out, because if you get out, we're gonna have to throw you back in, and you just wasted 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So he's like, okay. So he swims, he moves back, and I'm like, oh gosh, 30 more seconds. It was the longest 30 seconds ever. We got out. My arms were so sore. So float, don't tread.
Third class swim qualification. The third class qualification.
So that's what I'm saying. So they tell you to put your toes over the edge, and you just look down, and you just see these people waiting for you, and oh my gosh. And they just push you.
Consists of stepping from an elevated platform.
Bring back memories.
Surfacing unassisted, swimming 50 yards, then doing a 5-minute prone on your front, known as a prone float, or on your back, known as a supine float.
See, for us, they told us it had to be on your front. You couldn't go on your back. It could be different now. And I treaded water. I didn't float. Float. Please don't tread water.
I had swam before, but I had never jumped off a diving board. Hitting the water, you're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. It's a shock.
But not all recruits are ready to take the leap.
They push you, man. They push you.
Some have to be pulled from the water during the test and sent to remedial swimming, where they learn the basics of being comfortable.
Is that the lady, bro? Wait.
Remedial swimming, where
that might be the lady I'm talking about. Yeah, you can basically stand in there.
They learn the basics of being comfortable in the water.
We're just asking you to try to actually calm yourself down and realize that the water's not going to drag you under.
The water is your friend.
We have a 99.97% pass rate. We have a higher pass rate for recruits that can't swim than the Navy has of making civilians into sailors.
I think it's kind of because it's... I don't want to say it's a joke, but it was really easy. Like, you did it in one day, and, like, I knew people that actually, like, legit had to go to... So, if you don't pass anything in that day, you have to go back the next day, and you have to do it again. And if you didn't pass the first thing, you can't move on to the second thing. And I knew people that spent the entire boot camp experience, the whole 8 weeks, doing swim lessons and swim classes because they couldn't pass. And it was basically up to almost before graduation where people were like, we finished everything. It's like, bro, like, you couldn't get close. So here they're doing marlin spike. I'll probably let him describe it.
During week 3, recruits report to the Marlin Spike trainer, where they get their first taste of what it's like to be aboard a Navy ship.
Hand over hand, positive control.
Y'all literally just did this. What is the problem?
Once they do get to us, there's that nervousness. They don't know anything about a ship. It's scary to them. Big old vessel in the water, right?
Remove the bird's nest.
We teach them about how to communicate on a ship, how to tie a knot, transitioning them to be a sailor.
This walkthrough, that was the easy part. Now the pressure's on. You up, you up.
Each recruit is assigned a role that corresponds to a real member of a ship's crew.
Take all preparation.
Alright, so Marlin Spike. I actually enjoy it. It's super stressful. It's a pain in the butt. You do it like once or twice, and you never really do it for the rest of the boot camp. I wish I spent more time. Our chief, our RDC chief, she tried her best to like get us as much practice as possible because of us being a 900 division. We didn't have a lot of time to train for Marlin Spike. So basically, hold on, I can back up. So, like they said, everyone has different positions, different roles. You have some people down here as pier handlers. You have some people here that are line handlers. You have the line captain. You know, and you have other people that you don't really see that are speaking. So it's like kind of simulating what would happen in real life, where you have the instructions coming from the top, goes down to the bottom, goes to the captains, then goes to the handlers, and then to the pier handlers back to the handlers, and it goes back up. That's how communication is supposed to work. Oh my gosh. So I think I'm
The easy part.
Transitioning them to
Where
be
was
a
I?
sailor.
This walkthrough, that was the easy part.
I'm trying to think of the spot.
You up.
I know we just stopped right here. I want to say I was on this section right here. I was the line captain. I don't think I had a piece of paper. We had to do a lot of it from memory. I think I had a piece of paper. I had to have had a piece of paper. So for line handling, we went to another room first. It was a lot smaller, a lot less actual shippy. It was more just like imaginative. I think it was a room next to here. There's a room next to here. In this building, there's a smaller building that kind of you go over everything. He said, listen, we are going over everything. It's like if they give you a test and they say, okay, here are all the 50 questions that are going to be on the test. Here's how you answer all 50 questions. It's all right here. All you got to do is pay attention. But of course, you throw a bunch of people in a room, a bunch of guys. If you throw 80 guys in the room, they're not going to pay attention. You throw 80 girls, maybe most of them will pay attention. But you throw integrated people in it, and they're not going to pay attention. And so I was the line captain. My group was fantastic, man. We were spot on. We got everything right. The group that is behind the camera, there's one at the, I can't remember if that's the front of the ship or the back of the ship. But on that side, they were screwing up everything. And the line captain was our MA, our Master of Arms. So she was like in a leadership position. And bro, like the petty officer was so mad at her and that group. Like, why do you keep messing? Because the petty officers are walking around, making sure we're doing everything safe and correctly. Why are you messing up? Why are you messing up? Be like this group. And I was like, oh, she's pointing at our group. Because I'm a line captain, she's a line captain. So they're like, why don't you be like him? And I was like, I'm just reading the paper. Like, I'm not doing anything special. Like, all I gotta do is tell these people, remove the bird nest. That's all I tell them. And then they do it. If they do it wrong, I mean, it's kind of my fault, but at the same time, it's kind of not my fault because I told them what to do. I told them remove the bird nest. If they don't remove the bird nest, then I can't go remove the bird nest. Now, of course, I gotta supervise to make sure they're doing it correctly, but at the same time, it's like, I thought it was super easy. You usually gotta know. Now, in the real Marlin Spike, you don't have a piece of paper, so you gotta actually memorize this stuff. So if you want to be a line captain, it's not bad. Just you gotta memorize the lines. That's it. We had the lines. I just didn't study them because I didn't think I was gonna be a line captain. And guess what they made me? A line captain. So if you're like, I'm not gonna be that, you're probably gonna be that.
Recruit is assigned a role that corresponds to a real member of a ship's crew,
Make all preparations for getting underway.
with the
Make all
objectives of
preparations for
getting the
aye.
ship underway and bringing it safely into port.
Make all preparations for entering port.
So at the bridge at the very top, you have the boatswain's mate, and then we have
Boat's eye.
phone talker.
Mine's 3 and 4. Singled up, bridge eye.
They're going to be having comms with the other 3 phone talking stations down on the actual ship.
Attention on deck, attention on pier.
And the petty officers in charge relay that message to the line captain.
Fake down line going inboard. Fake down line going inboard.
The line captains have that script saying,
Yep.
single up all lines, take in all lines.
Double up all lines high.
Who the is talking?
It's loud, it's chaotic, it's hectic. Because when they're on the actual ship, when they have actual waves moving that ship, they need to be calm, cool, and collected and resort back to their training.
When I say prepare heaving line for heaving, that's when he comes over here.
You're gonna hold this so he can tie the knot.
It's all about communication as well as following all the safety precautions. Anything that can get you injured, you need to make sure you're aware of what that is, make sure your teammates aren't doing it either.
Watch your feet, watch your feet, watch your feet.
Just standing there, they can be injured.
Yeah.
Somebody can go overboard.
And
Somebody
there's
can
stories
trip
of that
up on a
actually like
line.
happening.
Take
Like,
it from myself because I've eaten complete crap before, like falling on the deck of a ship, and it's not fun.
1, 2.
But it's not even like just falling. There's story of people like losing their legs, or because they the line snapped and it recoiled and hit them back in the legs. Like it's that's what I would say. Marlon and Spike, like the petty officers, I think did really good job of hammering down the importance of it, safety. Why we should or should not, kind of be like paying attention to this. This is the room I was talking about. So this is the room right here. I pointed with my hand. I gotta use the mouse, bro. Right here, this is kind of like their mock setup. And, there's bleachers over on this side. And so they do like a little mock setup. If you don't know what something is for, what is I don't know, heave line. I don't know, something like that. Now don't ask something stupid, but if you generally don't know, ask. Because you're gonna be put in a situation. One thing about the line captains is if I say what's the one where that he said where you gotta like what did he say? Prepare heaving line for heaving and stuff like that. If you don't know why you're preparing the heaving lines, the line handlers might be confused. Be like, why? What is that? What does that mean? Your job as a line captain is to explain to them what they're doing. So if you don't know what you're doing, then you're kind of screwed. You can't explain to them, so that they're in trouble because they don't know what they're doing. And luckily for my group, they knew what they were doing. So when I was like, I'm just reading the script, I don't know what this means, and they just like follow it. I was like, cool. Like, I'm glad you know what you're doing because I have no idea what I'm doing. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. If you have questions, ask. They're pretty, especially in this room. In this room, the petty officers that was there were super chill. They're like, ask questions. And then the X room, the petty officers expect you to have asked all the questions in this room. So make sure you ask.
3.
Remove figure eights and round turn. Take figure eights off and then round turn. Move to safety zone.
But seamanship start.
Yeah, so if you don't know what a round turn is, then ask. It's the 1/2. The figure eight is all the way around, figure eight, around the two pillar thingies. This is what happens when you don't use Navy terms in a long time. You forget all of it. When you do the figure eight, a round turn is just a round turn. That's it.
It's in the classroom.
And they explained it.
Okay, next. What's next?
Single up all lines. Forecastle eye.
All stations, single up all lines.
All stations,
See, we're all, people are sitting on the corners. People were falling asleep. It is what it is.
Single up all lines.
Single up all lines.
It's like speaking a different language.
Yeah.
You gotta get the hang of it. It helps that everyone else is doing it with you, so the more you hear it, it's all around you. Eventually, you won't even think about it.
Exactly.
Just tell him the message.
Bridge, single up all lines.
It's Barney style. We break it down Barney style. Yes, pretty much.
Single up all lines, aye.
Perfect, just like that.
And you just do it over and over again.
Chamber. I don't call it the gas chamber.
Confidence
torture
chamber.
It's none of that stuff. It is the confidence chamber. The reason you go through this is so we can prove to you that the mask works. Does that make sense?
Yes, Chief.
In week.
All right. Funny thing about this, right? So they were like, you know, we had to go around. So we had to go around the room where you see the confidence chamber, the gas chamber, and you have to go grab your mask, and then you go back and you sit down. All right, and they're going over everything, and some of the masks have been beaten up, so to speak. I don't know how, but you know, people aren't always the nicest stuff with equipment that isn't theirs. So they say, hey, if the back straps happen to be broken, you're okay. It's the temple straps that, you know, as long as your temple straps are still intact, you'll be okay. It's kind of hard to see with the quality, but there's the temple straps, and then there's the ones that go back there. Excuse me. So they're like, if I think it was, as long as you have one broken, you're fine. If you have two, you know, we can go swap it out. But the temple ones have to be there. And my temple ones were broken. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, excuse me, petty officer, what happens if your temple ones are broken? And they're like, that never happens. It was like, mine are. So, of course, they think I'm a dumb recruit that doesn't know the difference. And they're like, well, let me see. So they come down, they see it. And he's like, huh, I've never seen that before. Go get yourself another mask. So I was the only one in the entire room that ever had a temple strap broken, and according to that petty officer at least. And I was like, oh, well, I love, you know, I'm trying to, you know, stay below the radar. You know, don't try to get myself noticed. I'm the only one that has a broken temple strap, and I hated. Everyone else was sitting down. Everyone else was putting on their mask, and I had to go up by myself. Go up, get another mask, and come back and sit. And it was super uncomfortable. I hated it.
Exposed to CS gas or tear gas in the confidence chamber.
Who's nervous right now?
I was a little bit nervous.
About how my body's gonna react.
Body's gonna react. It's gonna react accordingly.
Thanks. See, that's the little wall right here that they have all the different masks. They have like small, medium, large.
After learning how to properly don and
so
clear
this
masks,
line, so this back line is the last row. I was this second to last row.
And wait for their turn to step to the line at the front of the room. An instructor pours the powder inside the CS capsules onto a hot plate, filling the room with gas.
Mask up, come on, let's go!
So, you know, of course, you're supposed to put take off the mask, inhale, and, you know, raise it up. Before we went, right, they were like, oh, most people, you know, they can't even say, so you're supposed to say your name, I think your division, and then that's it. You move on to the next person. And he's like, most people don't even have the ability to say who ya afterwards. So me and my friend next to me, we looked at each other. We're like, we gotta say who ya. We gotta say it. If not many people say it, we gotta say it. So now we're in the back row, and you're supposed to lift up with your right hand, and then you cup with your left in case you got snot, mucus, whatever coming out of your face. You have this your recruit cup to hold it. God, it was. And if you gotta, like, you know, empty it, they said do not get any of it on the floor. You gotta just on your shirt, and you go back to collecting whatever's coming out of your face. Deliciousness. So we're in the back row, and the row after us, one of the guys just was dying, like absolutely. I was like, I'm scared. I was like, bro, this is intense. And so hold on, let me see.
Get that mask up.
Yeah, gotta get the mask up.
When they take off the mask, it only.
All right, hold on.
Get that mask up. Get that stuff up.
So her face is my reaction. So we lined. So you know we're the second to last row, so we're going up. And before I take off the mask, because I know what they're gonna do. I've seen, I think, two lines already do it. I inhale the clean air, and then I hold my breath and I take off my mask, you know? And I'm going to hold my breath, you know? But I was like, what's the point of doing that? It defeats the purpose, you know? I don't gain the confidence or whatever. So, and I was like, I could feel the air, you know? I was like, it's not that bad. So I take a breath in. And that's my face. I was like, this is it? Like, I was breathing in spicy air. That was basically it. So I coughed once. I was like, Seaman Recruit Fernandez, and I coughed. And then I said Division 910, hoo-yah. And that was it. Like, my eyes were like a little bit teary. But I was like, bro, that's it? Like, that's my face. Like, no, nothing. It was like,
It only takes a few seconds before they feel the effects of the gas. Some recruits don't seem affected by it, but most struggle. They cup their hands under their chins to prevent bodily fluids from leaking onto the floor.
What does it feel like when you take that mask off?
Hurts, burns a lot. It's a good sinus clearer. If you're sick, you'll be able to breathe once you leave there.
Senior Recruit Morales, Division 205. Hoo-yah!
See, that's what I had to do. Hey, let's go, Fernandez. That's not me though. As you can tell, I have a little bit more hair. And he says Division 215, but hoo-yah, other Fernandez.
Recruits say their names and division numbers, followed by a hoo-yah. After about 15 seconds of exposure, they're allowed to exit the chamber.
And there's like there's a sink by the mask that you're supposed to empty your wonderful recruit cup. See, we didn't do this.
It definitely wasn't fun. Definitely.
Literally, because for us, it's still freezing cold outside. There's snow on the ground. It's like a foot long, or a foot deep, I guess. I don't know. I'm from the South. We don't have snow. I don't know how to measure snow. So we had to literally go back into our room, and everyone's just sitting there like, like still coughing on their hands. Like, I know they kind of emptied it and washed their hands, but still, I'm just like.
By a hoo-yah.
That's it.
After about 15 seconds of exposure, they're allowed to exit the chamber.
It was for me. It was no. The girl in the back. That's basically how my face was.
It definitely wasn't fun. Definitely wouldn't, sign up to do it again.
I do it.
I do it again. As I thought it was gonna be.
Oh yeah, is it?
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I just snorted it back.
During week 4, recruits are trained to fight fires.
You never know when a simple fire will break out on board the ship. Any sailor needs to be ready to combat that fire to save the ship, aircraft, submarine, you name it.
Controlled fires fueled by propane tanks simulate different types of fires that could occur on a ship.
I don't think we did that. I think we just did the one fire.
A lot of them don't understand that pressure that comes through the hose. As soon as you open up that nozzle, all that pressure starts to push you backwards. They kind of hold it nonchalantly a little bit.
It was one of the most hands-on experiences we got to do. Part of the teamwork that helps you realize that there's going to be points where your life is going to be in the hands of another person. It's important to pay attention because if you're not doing things correctly, you're putting someone else in danger. So fire was fun. I don't remember anything like crazy for us to kind of happen during it. I know that of course the petty officers that are running the fire stuff, they're trying to motivate people, so they try to make it competitive. This group's doing it better than this group, stuff like that. But it was fun. Like they said, they told us that the hose pressure is not 100% of what's on the ship, and it was still a big kickback. Like I said, I'm a small dude, so I was like, maybe the bigger people didn't have that big of an issue, but the kickback was pretty strong. Hopefully, I don't have to
deal with that. Hopefully I never had to experience a fire, but you never know. It's always good to have that prepared. Next is live fire.
Recruits trained to safely fire the M9 Beretta pistol,
which is no longer. I think I heard they're going to M18.
as well as to assemble and disassemble it.
A lot of people that come through here have minimal to zero experience.
3-1000.
If something's incorrect, we fix it right away. If we see that some of them are kind of just a little bit too nervous, we'll talk to them, make sure that they're mentally okay, and make sure that they feel safe and they feel like they're in a good environment.
Why should the Navy?
So, for those of you who don't know, in the Navy, we don't really get qualled on the rifles or shotguns unless you're the MAs, the Master Arms, Police. You know, because we're on a ship. You know, one, it's close quarters, and two, if we need to get that kind of combat, I mean, something's gone wrong. You know, we're on a ship, we have bigger guns, so that's what you know we're used for. I will say, so in the 8-week course, it was short. The training for the firearms was not long enough. I was told that the 10-week is supposed to fix that. That the 10 weeks is supposed to have a little bit more training in the firearms. But from what my friends that did the 10 weeks, they told me that it was useless. The extra 2 weeks was kind of useless. Hopefully they fix out the kinks, because it is new. It's a new program. It's always going to have some issues. So hopefully they kind of, because everything is not going to work out on paper, so, you know, kind of how they expected it. So hopefully they kind of fix it. For us, it was one day, it was dry fire. So like they said, it was the pistol, usually like older ones that were kind of just janky. And it was, you know, it was just the magazine. There was no rounds in it. And you just, that's it. You just gotta get used to the pulling the trigger, because like she said, some people have never had any firearm experience. I had very limited pistol experience. I had firearm experience, but very limited pistol experience. And so it was cool. It was like a little smaller, you know, handheld weapon that, you know, to use. And then they moved to laser tracing, which that was pretty cool. So it's kind of like air compressed. So when you pull the trigger, it shoots out a laser to the target, so you know where you hit. But also has kind of like a kickback. I think they said it was like, I want to say either 30 or 70% of the kickback. I want to say it's 70, but it could be 30. I think it was 70. So it wasn't the full kickback, but it was to give the people that never had a firearm kind of the experience of what happens when you shoot, how the gun kind of tends to go up. So you want to have your second hand there to kind of control it. And then like the next day was live fire. I think we did dry fire. Like 2 days later, the compressed, and then 2 days later we did live fire. For me, it was like boom, 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 boom. Like, so we're here on the range, shooting these targets. I remember. So there's an announcer. He goes, "Shooters ready. Shooters stand by. You have 4 seconds to shoot 2 rounds." And then you wait for the targets they're sideways, and then you wait for them to flip so that you can see them, and then you shoot. And you have to shoot, you know, 2 rounds in 4 seconds. I remember I was, you know, shooter stand by, and then it flipped, so I punched out, and I shot the first fire, and I was like, oh, this is a real gun. Like, I've shot guns before, but I don't know why, just the ability to, like, this is like real. Like, I feel like I got no training in it. So I really hope that they kind of make the training longer, better. But I enjoyed it, you know.
These sailors
I got marksman.
need to be qualified to shoot weapons.
Decent. I am by far not the best shot. I know that, but I was happy with marksman. I wanted a sharpshooter, but
Typically on watch.
maybe
Stay
when I
on
recall.
watch and provide some sort of security. If someone steps on board a vessel, anything seems kind of weird, kind of sketchy, then we would have to employ that weapon if things start to escalate.
Yeah.
Boot camp culminates with an event known as Battle Stations.
So let me say, when you're marching, one, if you know how to sing, please be the RPOC. Please. If you know how to sing, if you're shy, that's fine. Just please be the RPOC. If you know how to sing, and be loud. And be loud. Our RPOC, he knew how to sing, but he wasn't loud. So when we're passing other divisions that were belting out these cadences, man, it felt so bad. I was like, I wish we had that kind of like pride, bro. Like, I get it, you know, it's boot camp, but have some pride in boot camp, man. We're here. Like, we just did, you know, well, you start, you know, cadences in the beginning, but like, especially towards the end, like when you're in the 6th, 7th, and 8th week, where everything's kind of culminating to the end, like, have some pride. I don't know. That's just me. Like, I can't sing, but you best believe that when cadences go on and I'm marching, I'm trying to be as loud as I can. I was the section leader in boot camp, so I was towards the front, so I could hear behind me, and let's just say,
It happens inside this building.
Oh, and please, 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 if you are in debt and you're trying to go out to march and you don't know how to march, please learn how to march before you go to boot camp. It is not hard. I don't understand why people have difficulties. 1 is your left foot, 2 is your right foot. 1, 2, 2. Like, that's literally it. It's just 2 feet that go left and right, left and right, left and right. And people just have, like, hard time getting that concept again. I don't know why. Like, it's really not that hard. But please, if you don't know how to do it, learn.
Which may not look like much from the outside.
Oh, especially if you're short. If you're short, you're going to be in the front where the RDCs are going to be looking at you the whole time. If you're short and you know how to march, there was like 2 or 3 people in my boot camp that didn't know how to march, and they were short, and they had the hardest like first 2 weeks. After my RDCs kind of gave up on them.
But inside, the recruits encounter this. The Uss Traitor. It's a 2/3 scale replica of a Navy destroyer ship designed and built by companies that created attractions for Walt Disney World.
Battle Stations is an accumulation of every training evolution you've done throughout basic, mixed with a little bit of sleep deprivation. So yeah. I think it's the closest thing any of us are going to get to what being on a ship's like.
Although the Navy agreed to let our crew film parts of the Battle Stations,
it's only parts.
We weren't allowed to show major details of the scenarios or solutions to the problems recruits have to solve.
So, actually, I'm going to step back. This
film parts of the Battle Stations.
I'm going to get a nice look at the room.
We weren't allowed to show major details.
That's not. Anyway, we're going to keep on this nice blurry picture. So, I can't say too much. I signed a documentation. Everyone's going to sign a documentation. You're not really supposed to be telling people, especially people that are prospecting into the Navy with Battle Stations. So, like, it ruins the meaning of it. You know, why we do what we do. So I'm going to talk about what they show, you know. Hopefully I don't get in trouble. We'll see. So I'm trying to get a nice, good picture of this room.
Let our crew film parts of the Battle Stations event. We weren't allowed to show major details of the...
Okay, that's good enough. So this is your whole division is going to be with you. But they're going to separate you in groups. You know, you can kind of see the lines in different groups. And then you have the different petty officers and chiefs. Oh, he looks so happy to have the camera crew. And it kind of shows you what life on a ship is going to be like. You know, you can see over here, you have like these racks. And literally 1, 2, 3. So you and your 2 buddies, that's how you're going to be sleeping on a ship. Boom, like that. It's this little, you move this little curtain over to the side, you hop in, and you go to sleep. There's a little foot thingies you can kind of step up onto, you know, for short people like me. You have a nice little wall locker and whatnot to put your stuff in. Make sure you keep everything locked. We are in the military, but, you know, people tend to take stuff that is out in the open. So you have your petty officers and chiefs that are going to be assisting. Your RDCs are gone. RDCs will not help you. They're not there. These are your new RDCs for the night. Listen to them. Listen to what they say. If you have questions, please ask them. They will answer. I will say, I think I can say this. There's a TV right here, right? So of course, they show stuff on the TV. Our petty officer was like, yeah, our sound doesn't work, so we're just gonna improvise. So they would play what they play on the TV, and they would just be like, yeah, this is what this was said. This is how this was said. I'm just like, oh well, that kind of ruins the immersion, I guess you could say. But yeah.
Scenarios or solutions to the problems recruits have to solve.
So it goes over 17 different scenarios,
Yep.
from firefighting to seamanship, first aid. So all of those combined into one special night.
Everything you have gone from the beginning of boot camp to the end is tested here. And that's I like that. You know, it kind of reaffirms everything. You know, I kind of could gather what was going to happen in boot camp. Literally, like, everything in boot camp is going to be on that. Well, not everything. It's like, you know, they're not going to do a uniform inspection. You know, they're not going to test you in your NSUs because you're not wearing those. But they will kind of, you know, everything that happened in boot camp is going to be tested, and to make sure you really know what's happening. I will say this, and I think I can say this: help your team. Like, if you know what you're doing, like, so she said there's 17 different things that are being tested. You're going to be weak in some area and you're going to be strong in another. Your team is going to be weak in one area and strong in the other. So what you should do, what a good team would do, is figure out what you're good at. You know, figure out, hey, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. And work with each other. That's what a good, like I said, a good team is supposed to do that. So if you see your teammate struggling, help them out. I don't think you're allowed to help other teams. I think it was one thing. We're not allowed to help other teams. But definitely help your teammate if you see him. Like, you know, you're going to go through the proper battle dress attire. If you see something's messed up, hey, hey, fix this. You know? So that he doesn't die in the event of a battle stations.
A special and long night. Recruits are not allowed to sleep during the event.
Doors cold. Who are you telling? I do not are you telling?
Hey, he was actually our, this guy was our, one of our petty officers. He was super chill. He was the one that was like, yeah, the TV's broken. So, yeah. Actually, I probably shouldn't have said that, but, you know, it is what it is. He was super chill. I liked him. He helped us out. I thought the no sleeping was going to be a huge issue. I didn't think so. Like, there was some times where, like, my eyes would get droopy, but you're constantly doing stuff all night long. I didn't have an issue, but I heard there were some people that, you know, were sleeping in the bathroom. Said, don't sit down if you don't have to. Like, if you sit down and you start decompressing, bro, you're going to get tired. Just stay up, stay active, you know, try to keep each other engaged and whatnot. That's going to help you.
Me? Are you telling petty officer or are you telling your CLS? Tell the CLS! Doors go CLS!
When they say when you get to fleet, you gotta be able to handle sleep deprivation, you really do. You have to be able to handle doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Even when it's very stressful, even when you're cold, wet, tired, sleepy, and even when your peers may not be in the right mindset either.
The first scenario we saw involved a burst water pipe in a room full of ammunition shells that recruits had to move while trying to patch the pipe.
If you can't do it alone, ask for help.
So I guess I don't know how much I can talk about this, right? This character right here, this guy, that's what I was doing. I wasn't fixing the pipe. I was passing the ammunition through the door. That's important. You'll figure out if you ever do boot camp why that's important. but that ammunition was it wasn't so far that it was heavy. I mean, it was heavy, but it was wet. So then it was like metal, so it wanted to slip out of your arms as you're trying to hand it to the next person. And it wasn't like, it was, cylinder, so it wasn't easy to like just grab and pass on to the next person. So yeah, that's all I could say about that. I feel bad for whoever has to patch the pipe because I didn't do it, and I know the person got soaked. And I was somewhat wet.
First scenario we saw involved a burst water pipe in a room full of ammunition shells that recruits had to move while trying to patch the pipe.
Oh, I was going to say something about the guy who was yelling at him. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? If you're going to say something, say it with confidence. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But if you say it with confidence, it's better than being shy about it. That's all I got to say. Be confident in your answers. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's not, it's not. And if you can't do it alone, ask for help. Oh, no. Okay. I think I can say this. The biggest rule of firefighting and boot camp, I think firefighters in like the fire department would say this too, is you don't take your eye off the fire. That's a no. That's a major no. Don't take your eye off the fire. A millisecond. Literally a millisecond. I took my eye off the fire, and the petty officer noticed. I can't say why, because I don't know if that's too much detail, but I was fixing my position and trying to get into a better position with where I was, and I looked down, and I realized as my head was moving down, I realized it was more of my eyes, actually. My eyes were moving down, and I realized that my eyes were getting off the fire, so I snapped back up to the fire, and I think the petty officer noticed my snap, and he wasn't too happy about it. He told me afterwards, he was like, I know it was for a millisecond, but you took your eye off the fire. I was like, if you knew it was for a millisecond, but it's the whole purpose that it's to take your eye off the fire. So that's what I have to say about firefighting. Don't take your eye off the fire, please. Whatever you do, don't take your eye off the fire.
Without a fire that breaks out on board.
We have all the sound effects.
See how he's just staring at his eyes.
Out on board.
Look at how he stares. So I'm over there holding the nozzle, trying to reorientate myself. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying that, but move my position, and I just millisecond.
We have all the sound effects, the lighting, the smoke, just because we want to make sure it's as realistic as possible. Once you go out to the ship,
I wish they weren't holding the nozzle.
Emergency situation that happened, we want to kind of reflect that here.
We were allowed to film inside one of the training areas built to resemble the damage suffered by the USS Cole in the deadly attack in October of 2000, with details down.
That's such a crazy story.
Which is stopped on the minute the real attack occurred.
See, I would love to walk through battle stations without it being happening, right? So, as you can see, the room is full of smoke. It's dark. But you can't see small detail like that. I thought that'd be amazing. Like, what's the point of making the clock stop at the exact time that the attack happened if no one can see it? As a recruit going through this, I'm not looking. Hey, by the way, that clock up there is perfectly timed. Like, you're not focused on that during this training event. Me and a couple of friends were talking about, like, it'd be so much fun, like, after battle stations, right? You go to sleep or whatever. The next day, you can walk through battle stations with the petty officers, and they tell you what you should and shouldn't have done. Hey, this is what it looked like without all the smoke, and it's dark, and the lights are on. You can be like, hey, look at that, look at that, look at this, and it's like, I thought that'd be pretty cool. They tell you a little bit more about the USS Cole. If you don't know about the USS Cole, I think it's a fantastic story. If you go to boot camp, they tell you a lot about USS Cole and how the people came together after the ship was exploded to kind of keep the ship alive. It's like dark, you see. So how am I supposed to see a clock with the time at the exact time that the attack happened? Like that doesn't happen.
Recruits don't notice such details.
People are dying! People are dying!
They have to locate and evacuate a casualty through thick smoke, over obstacles, and in total darkness.
Some people like working under stress because they say pressure either produces diamonds or it bursts pipes.
So that's as much as I can say about that. It's dark. It's going to be high pressure, smoke everywhere. You have to work with the team. Sometimes it's loud, sometimes it's not. So you got to keep the communication going. Some people might be
fun.
tired.
I would definitely do it again. Maybe after a full night's rest. But I would 100% do battle station again. It's a night I will never forget.
Agreed. I think I was Foxtrot. Our group didn't do the best. We had some mistakes. So you're also competing against other groups. I would say that. So you do your best. Like if you know, like I said, have some pride. Do your best. You are going up against other groups. We didn't do the worst though. We were like one of like the middle teams. We did okay. You know, we passed. Me looking away from the fire was not didn't help the case.
After battle stations is complete, recruits line up in front of the Uss Traitor to receive their Navy ball cap, symbolizing their transition from recruits to Navy sailors.
They realize everything that they have done thus far, all the blood, sweat, and tears they shed. They finally earned their Navy ball cap, and it's a proud moment
Cover.
for all of them.
2. So, you know, we finished battle stations. This is so the guys are actually like shaking the hands. Your RDCs come back. You know, your RDCs. So, you know, you spend the whole time in battle stations. You finish it. Your RDCs come pick you up from where you were. They're the ones that hand you your Navy ball cap. Try to remember what my petty officer's name was that handed me my ball cap. But he was the mean one, you know. I knew he wasn't really mean. You know, it was kind of like I knew what he was doing. It was to, you know, motivate people and whatnot. But they did fist bumps. They didn't shake hands because COVID at that time. You know, the regulations didn't allow them to shake hands. It had to be fist bumps. It is what it is. I can't remember his name. But now he's actually a chief select. Hopefully he's a chief by now. That'd be pretty cool. I know he was a culinary specialist. But yeah, I didn't cry when they handed me the hat. I was like, you know, I was exhausted because here now you're standing in formation, you know, and everything's kind of decompressing now. So I'm starting to get a little tired. You know, I think it was one of the guys was doing a speech. I forgot who it was.
That morning was extremely emotional. I was definitely more proud of that than anything I've ever done before. Nothing compares to that moment.
But they do the Sailor's Creed, right? So one of the things that you got to learn is the Sailor's Creed. Every branch has their own sort of creed. I think Army's like soldier creed, and Marines are Marines, whatever. Air Force, I don't know what they do. But our Sailor's Creed, you know, I'm a United States sailor. So for me, you know, as a recruit, you know, I'm a United States sailor. It wasn't mean anything, but then, you know, put the Navy ball cap on. They're playing, you know, I'm proud to be an American. And then you start seeing I'm a United States sailor. Oh, bro, that had me gone. I was like, trying to stay like, you know, military bearing, composed in formation, saying the Sailor's Creed, you know. Good times.
Friends and family gather.
So, for those of you that are doing the 10 weeks, I don't like this. This is what I heard. So for us, right, we had to do the PFA, which is the physical fitness assessment. This is the final fitness test that you do that proves that you are physically fit to join the Navy. So you had to pass the PFA to go to battle stations. from what I understand about this 10 weeks, that some of the people that went through, is you go to battle stations and then you do the PFA. I don't like that at all. The fact that you can put on your Navy ball cap without passing the PFA is... No, I'm not a big fan of that at all. I don't know why they can't just put the battle stations further back, because battle station is still like on week 8, I think. So, graduation. I was in a 900 division. If you get the opportunity, I'll let you know how it is, because they didn't tell us everything. So, 900 divisions, first things first, you're going to get set back a week automatically. You have to be the first training group in your division. We had 14 divisions. We were supposed to start on a Thursday or Friday, but because we had to be number 1 in our training group, we had to wait till the following Monday. So it set us back kind of like a week. So if you don't want to get set back a week, that is one thing. They told us that we were going to graduate the same day, but we didn't. We graduated a week later. Because I had friends that didn't do 900, and they graduated a week before me. So I will let you know. You're going to get set back a week. 900 division, there's 3 different times. You have staff, you have triple threat, and you have flags, state flags. I was a state flags 900 division. So staff is very simple. You just stand there. You're going to tell parents where to sit, where the restrooms are, stuff like that. Simple stuff. You're going to hold doors. I don't know what they did. Triple threat is if you're musically inclined, triple threat plays a lot of the band music. Now the Navy band's going to be there, so they're going to play like the big stuff, but you're also going to have some time. State's flags is state flags. So you hold the flags and, this person is from Georgia, the Georgia flag. This person is from California, the California flag. That's what you do. But also, you do a little 3-minute concert in the beginning, which is what I did. Me and a couple friends, we all did the music in the beginning, just for the parents. The recruits aren't even there yet. So I was able to see 2 graduations before my graduation, because they rotate the 3 900 divisions. So you have baby, junior, and senior. So when one 900 division is a baby, one 900 division is a junior, and one 900 division is a senior. And it just keeps rotating. And I kind of like it because it makes like at least one of the 900 division not going to be... At least one 900 division knows what's happening, and the other one is kind of learning the process. And of course, the junior and seniors are supposed to teach... Well, the senior group is supposed to teach the ones below. Kind of long explanation of how it's supposed to work. So I got to see graduations. It was hard. It was hard at the end. You're going to hear it, liberty, liberty. And the fact, you have all the parents running to the kids and the kids running to the parents, and we're just having to sit back and watch all that. Oh, it hurt. Especially because I have friends that graduated a week before me. So I had to play for their graduation. And it was hard. Like I said, it was hard kind of just watching people graduate, and you're just kind of having to sit back. Now, for my graduate, I let it loose. But yeah, this is so. Since we were at the top of the training group, our battle stations was kind of early on, so we had a couple of days where we were just kind of chilling. But I had a friend who his battle stations was towards the end of graduation, so literally he was doing battle stations, went home, and then had graduation the next day. Bro, that is crazy. I would be so in pain.
Witness their new sailors graduate before joining the fleet.
So that right there, my group didn't have to do. We had to practice it, eyes right, all that fun stuff. But we never actually did it because 900 divisions don't do this for graduation. We have to do other stuff. We have to do the state's flag stuff. They have their own march and stuff. But for me, I might be able to show what I did if I can find it. I might actually do
You
that.
see the change. You have some recruits that you never thought they were going to make it past training. But once they graduate, you see that, wow, they grasp the point of this. You know they're going to be out there, out in the fleet. It's really rewarding.
Seeing recruits come off the bus with long hair, not knowing their left to the right, not knowing how to wear a uniform, and seeing that transition that they make from a civilian to a recruit to a sailor is truly eye-watering and truly a blessing.
Daddy, I live. Daddy, I live. My daddy said.
That.
My daddy said. He said that I. He said that I become a man. I become a man. Oh, we, 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 oh, we.
See, so our RDC never did that. Our RDC always had an RPOC do it, but we do that. We would literally march in a I guess a rectangle, but it was around the room. It was a circle, but you know, the room was a rectangle. And you'd march, and you would sing cadence, and we would pass out our laundry that way. So we're integrated division. So we would all go to the female compartment because theirs apparently smelled better. Whatever, you know, guys are smelly. But it was also more open in our the way we had everything laid out. We actually were a test trial for how integrated divisions should be set up. And so we had more room. We had the ability to do more stuff. And so we would literally march, and our RPOC would stand in the middle and sing cadences. And that was a lot of fun. Like, I enjoyed it. You know, you get into it. You know, like I said, the biggest thing for me is having pride in what you're doing. So let me hold on. Let me see really quick. I want to see. I want to see. Is it this right here? Is it this guy?
Here, and our mission is fairly simple. It's to transform civilians into smartly disciplined, physically fit sailors.
This guy right here. He's my idol. He's my idol. We would quote him all the time in boot camp. Yes, Chief. I want to hear if he says it. Let me see if I can get him to say it.
Physically fit sailors ready for follow-on training and service to the fleet. And while doing so, to instill in them the
and then I'll show you my video.
Honor, courage, and commitment.
You are no longer a civilian.
Actually.
Whatever you were before is now over. You are about to begin a journey that's going to make you a part of the greatest naval force the world has ever known. This training will not be easy. It wasn't meant to be.
What was it meant to be?
Our training environment is to control chaos.
So, let me see.
And while it may not seem like that to the recruits, each and every event has meaning and purpose.
You're going to sound off at the top of your lungs. Do you understand? Yes,
We are designed to develop skill sets.
So I'm trying to log into me off Facebook. And where is it? Might not be in this one. Yeah, this is like the old one. This is the one for the 8 weeks. It's this guy right here. I love this guy.
You know, and it's up to you to basically perform under pressure.
Look straight! Look straight!
Look how intimidating he
United
is.
States Navy. For the next 8 weeks, you will not do a single thing on your own. I tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it. Nothing that I ever tell you is a request, an option, or a suggestion.
So you make it. They give you a direction, and you have 0.5 seconds to pay attention to it, to
Yep.
the letter.
Ah,
so you
he's so
can't
good.
mess up. If you mess up, then that's on you, and it's really gonna fall back
Then
on you.
you will roll up your pant legs 3 inches up. When you are done, you will be on the toe line, standing straight.
I'm waiting for him to go, yes,
Awaiting
Chief.
further instruction.
No,
You have
Chief.
15 seconds. Go! Go! Hurry up! Hurry up! Let's go! I said, behind you! Behind you! Not close to you!
Is that touching your heels? No, it's not! Fix it! Pull yourself!
Fix
Pull
it!
yourself!
He said get down to the last shirt with sleeves. Maybe I wasn't loud enough. Maybe you couldn't understand me. Fix yourself now!
Bro, like, we would yell at each other like, fix yourself, fix yourself.
A lot more intense than I did think it was going to be.
Who said to stand like that?
I'm gonna try
You
to
must
go
love
all the way
getting
to the
special
bottom.
attention. Huh?
No, Chief.
Get that attention! Now!
Oh, he says on table, let's go.
And I said, your hands will never be behind you. Your hands will never be in front of you. What is your problem?
Hold on, you know what? It might be on YouTube, actually.
Proper military bearing will be maintained 24/7 and it starts tonight. Do you understand me?
Yes, Chief.
I can't hear you. Do you understand me?
Chief. Yeah, that was the hardest for me. Just to like not even argue the point. Just take it. Yeah.
I did. This row's gonna fall out, and then that row. Let's go.
Let's go fall out, move out faster. Let's go, get over here.
All the way go down that line right there. Keep going. All the way down to the end. And one more point right here. Go. Go. That girl's lost in the sauce. Let's go. Let's go. Hurry up. Hurry up.
That's it. Okay, so I have it. So let me see if I can find where he says, yes, Chief. No, Chief. Unless I missed that already. Oh, right here. Here it is. Oh, like I said, we quoted this all the time.
It's definitely getting a lot tougher for recruits.
Pretty sure I said you will sound off.
Yes, Chief.
Huh?
Yes, Chief.
Did I say walk back on the toe line? I didn't. Do you know where you're at? Respond! Say something! Yes, Chief.
No, Chief. Maybe, Chief.
What is it?
Something.
Yes, Chief. Because responding is not an option.
From what other people would say,
I wish he was still there when I was there. I talked to one of the petty officers that was like in charge of like the 900 division and whatnot. He was like, "Oh yeah, he just left." I was like, "No." Oh, he was so good. For those of you that have never seen it, this is my graduation, February 4th. Before graduation, but before all the recruits are out. So you can kind of see like these stars right here. I can put my face up. So these stars right here, this is where the flags are standing. This is where like the band will stand. So these are all little markers. So, you know, people are going to walk here. The divisions are standing here. So they're not out yet. This is like the very, very beginning. And all the parents are like, oh, woo, 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 woo. And so we're coming out. Where am I? Is that me? That's me right there. This one right here. I'm playing the quads. I never played the quads before in my life. Bro, I was so nervous. Quality's so bad, can I? I'm gonna put my face back in. So this right here is my buddy, Wilson. We went to boot camp and then A school together. You know, we were all friends in some regards. There are some people here I didn't care for, but you know, it is what it is. We work together. They wanted me to play this snare. And she was like, can I play this snare? Can I play this snare? I was like, bro, you can go right on ahead. I don't want to play snare. I don't want to be right up in the front. And they have to stay out. So snares, crash, and 2 of the bass drums have to stay out the entire graduation playing the marching cadence. The quads, the bells, and the other snares can leave. And I was like, bet. just play 3 minutes and get out, I'm okay with. Yeah, we had to do a sea shanty, the Navy, and we were messing around one day, and I found these bells laying around, like in the back of the room. I was like, bells, sleigh bells, huh? And so I'm messing around, and I'm just doing it one day in practice, and I'm like, oh, let's keep that, and I was like, all right, I guess. So I have to find a way to carry this plus the sticks up without dropping any of it. That was not fun. You can kind of hear it a little bit. So y'all don't see it, but basically in front of us are all the higher ups. All the admirals, some commanders, different officers from different branches are here. And so I'm just going like this, right? And I just look up and I just see officers all in front of me. And I'm just like, I am gonna mess something up. I had to wear my glasses over my mask because if not, my glasses would get fogged and I couldn't see jack squat. And we're wearing our dress blues because it's not summertime. So if you're curious, it's wintertime. I'm like grabbing my drumsticks, trying to get everything ready. Come on, show us playing it. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Kaldenbach, I love you. So this is Kaldenbach. He is a nuke. He's super smart. He struggled a little bit to get that rhythm down. Like I said, I'm a drummer. I'm a percussionist. I had a music degree. Yada yada yada. But I never played quads, right? I never did marching band. I did more concert band, wind ensembles kind of stuff. So when Wilson, who played quads, taught us this rhythm, it took me a little bit, but I got it, right? Kaldenbach, some issues with it. So that noise of you hear the rhythm, it's mainly me. Because I'm so nervous, I'm just smacking it. I'm going at it. Yeah, you can't see. I don't know. Doesn't look. He's not hitting it as hard. You can't really see me playing it though. Oh, also, my thing was broken. So as you can see, mine is like tilted forward a little bit. His is nice and like kind of like tilted towards him, so he can just Mine's are tilted like this a little bit, just not straight, just ever so slightly over. So I'm kind of having to like lift my arms up and play like that so that I don't hit the rims. It was fun. I enjoyed it. So me and Kaldenbach had no idea what to do for this song, right? Because the petty officer was like, hey, how about you just, come up with songs and play however you want to play. So, of course, Snares plays the snares of the song. Hi-hat for the cymbals, bass drum, and then the bellows play the melody. Cool. Quads. What do quads do and beat it? So I was like, bro, I'm not gonna go up there and try to do some fancy drum line that I never played. I'm gonna play something stupid, and we're just gonna hit the ribs, and maybe the toms every once in a while. I was like, this is. You can see like my arms are like kind of like more extended because I'm trying to hit the ribs. So now, there are 14 divisions that graduated with this, right? I think there was about 1,000 people watched us, at least, maybe 2. And that's just in there. You have people online watching that weren't able to come. All watch us. There's nothing else going on. Oh my gosh, it was so nerve-wracking. Why they focus on oh, what's her name? Oh, I forgot. She was so nervous. She's like, I don't want to play any bell part. Make me have the easiest stuff. So she's like hitting one note every like 4 measures or something like that. And they focus on her when she's not playing. I forgot her name. I can't think of it right now. Oda right here. This is my rack mate. He was so awesome. He was a good kid. I love you, Oda. Here we go. See that one drum and this giant room is just resonating. Ah, yeah, but I'm just standing there, like I'm just looking at these officers, and I'm just like, all right, last song, here we go. I do a little. I don't know if you noticed. I do a little twirl with the stick. Oh yeah! Wait, did Cottonbach do it with me? He said he would. Oh, he did. Okay, we're good. So people are walking in the background. I think these are like the people getting ready. Gosh, so, you know, there's what? 4, 7, 9, 11, 13 people here, if my math is correct. All by ourselves. And they wanted us to just belt at the top of our lungs. Hoo-yah, go Navy, right? She's super shy. He's super shy. She's super shy. He doesn't talk. All these people are like super quiet. And so I'm trying to belt at the top of my lungs. He's trying to belt at. It was a beautiful chaos. So, for those of you that are interested in her division, states flags. This is what we did. So Wilson had to yell at the top of his lungs to get the people on both sides on the east and the west, north and south. I forgot which one they call it. To get ready. That's an MC, so that's what I'm going to be doing. One day in my future. I got to talk to a few of them. They were so cool. So I think these right here is the 900 division. That's triple threat, I think, is who's up here. So these are state flags, of course. So you see the different flags of the different states. And I think they have flags for the territories as well. They're too low, I think. It looks lower than everyone else. So you can see right here. So if you're in the 900 division, right, and you decide to do the band, right, you have the lead snare and the secondary snare, the 2 cymbals and 2 bass drums. I led the rest of the people, and we walked off. We're gone. We're gone. We don't ever show ourselves again for the rest of the graduation. This was my graduation, right? So we hide away, and we just, you know, chill out till the graduation is done. We decided we got into the actual like bleachers, and we were able to sit and watch it. I asked the petty officer, I said, "Hey, this is our graduation. Can we do this?" He said, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So that's what we did. We stayed and we watched our graduation. So if you are in the 900 division and you decide to, or if you're interested in it, these people stay out here the entire graduation playing the song. The entire graduation. Not the time, but for most of it. So if you want to do that, hey, you do you. You do what you want to do. This is what they do. If you don't, you want to be like me, I always say do quads, do the third or fourth drum. Also depends on how many people there are. If there's 6 of y'all, there's 6 of y'all gotta be out there. There are no bells, there are no quads. It is what it is. If there's more, then you get to experiment. It's just how many people are in your group, how many people can play music instruments, you know? How many is needed for states flags? Is that Heck? I wonder if that's Heck. I said I knew all these people. We were all in the division together. So, while other people are practicing marksman spike, going over training, going over different stuff, I don't know what they did. We were here practicing. So the pros and cons of being in a 900 division is kind of like you don't have to do the marching part and stand in formation the entire graduation, but you are going to be a state flag if you do a state flag. You will be triple threat. You will be staff stands, I guess, the whole graduation. Like I said, I got kind of like the easy job. I got to just play for 3 minutes and dip. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. So, you know, I don't know how they do it for the 10 weeks, but I know for us they did it after ROM. They came up to us and said, "Who wants to be part of a 900 division?" If you're interested, raise your hand. If you got musical experience, you can be part of the band. If not, you'd be a state's flag or whatever. It's really up to you. Don't let them force you into being a 900 division, because like I say, you will be a week late. So if you have plans, if you're trying to get out on a certain date, I was trying to get out in January, but they made me get out February because of the week. It's up to you. That's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be an MC, taking pictures. It's gonna be fun. I'm not gonna watch the whole graduation. Just all right. I think it's good enough. So that's basically. No, stop. Go away. That's basically my boot camp experience. There's a lot. I mean, I don't know. This video is almost 2 hours long already. I'm live streaming it. Plus, I know for a fact I'm gonna put this on YouTube. It's one of the things I wanted to put on YouTube. My boot camp experience, how it was. You know, it's different now that I was at 8 week and now 10 weeks. I heard the last 2 weeks are kind of just nothingness. So take it as you will. I don't know if they're gonna change that. I hope they do. I hope they push back battle stations to where that's the last thing. I don't think you should do battle stations and then the PFA. I think you should do PFA and then the battle stations. You know, that's just my personal preference. That's a little bit about being a 900 division. There are some cool things about it. You know, you get to see the graduations before it happens. It's sad, but you get to do it. You know, MC. Though, if you are projected to be an MC rate, let me know if you have any questions. The people I talked to, I was like, "What's that solid?" So, in your dress uniforms, you're gonna have a patch of what rate you are. And so once I saw that those were MCs, I was like, oh, "Petty officer, can I please talk to them? They're part of my rate." One thing you know about being an MC is there's only I think 1,100 of us in the entire Navy. Like, think about it, just 1,100. That's not a lot. So a lot of people don't really know what MCs do. Some people just say we just take pictures. We do a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of it is pictures, but we do a lot of stuff. But when I got to talk to instructors that were, you know, BMs, gunners mates, you know, different stuff like that. I can't think of, you know, damage control DCs. That's a lot of the instructors were. So they don't like MC, bro. Like, I don't know what that is. But for the few that may have encountered them, like, oh, you cool job. You take pictures. You chill. I was like, I want to talk to an actual MC. What do actual MCs think about their jobs? So I actually got to talk to a few of them. I think one was an E5, one was an E6. I think one was a chief or a senior chief. I can't remember what she was. I was like, hey, what is boot camp like? Not boot camp. What is A school like? What do you do? They said it was difficult. I just finished A school. I can maybe do a video about A school if that's what people are interested in. I might do it. I might not. We'll see. It's not that difficult. I thought it was pretty easy. Very basic, very rudimentary. If you never held a camera before, if you never did graphics before, logos before, writing, interviews, stuff like that, it's all kind of basics. Your structures will help you. But I got to talk to them, ask them what it's like, how it is, and it's so much fun. I hope I get to see them sometime in the fleet. Be like, hey, by the way, you were the MC in my graduation, and something like that. I don't know. But yeah, boot camp was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot about myself. One of the first things that you could do in boot camp is they say, why did you join? You know, they make you fill out this sheet of paper. At least, again, this is for 8 weeks. I don't know what the 10 weeks were like, but our RDCs were like, fill out this piece of paper. Why did you join the Navy? And I think it's kind of important for people that are joining the Navy and going into boot camp now. You kind of sit back and figure out why they want to join. There's a lot of positive things. I've had a very positive experience so far. I hope it, stays positive. I know there's ups and downs and whatnot. But one of the main reasons I wanted to join was I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. A lot of people want to, go back to I know a lot of people in California. They want to go back to California. They want to go to San Diego. And everyone's like, don't do that. Go, on the East Coast. Go to Japan. Go to Europe. So that's one reason I wanted to travel. One reason else was stability, get out of the house. As much as I love streaming at home, I want to stream in my own house. I want to stream where I don't have to worry about, all this light. I want to be my own room kind of deal. So it's stuff that the Navy can provide. I had one petty officer in A school tell me, as long as the Navy is providing what you came for, stay. If it's not, then it's time to hang up your uniform and call it a day. Some people are going to do 4, 6, 8, 10, 20. Hopefully I can do 20 is my plan. Within that, I hope I can have the stability to continue streaming, seeing y'all, making video, making content. Yeah, I think that's it. I hit 2 hours. I'm just going to throw the whole thing up on YouTube. So if you stayed this long, I want to thank you so much listening to my story of boot camp, my experiences. I have a ton of experiences. Different things happen different times. If you have any questions, concerns, for those of you that are interested in going, let me know down below in the comments. I don't know if people will ever see this. It's one of those things where it may never show its face ever again. Yeah, like I said, if people are interested in more videos about what my experience was in boot camp, what ROM was like, restriction of movement during COVID, the winter in Great Lakes, what that is like, let me know. If you want to know what A school was like, I can only talk to MC A school. That's the one thing about A school, is very specific for the different jobs. If you are going to be a seaman pack, fireman pack, undez, compared to a nuke, compared to, like I said, a BM, gunner's mate, damage control, all of those are very different A schools, at least compared to what I did. Mine was 6 months long, in a room, AC, chilling, taking pictures, doing logos, graphics, interviews. Very different from, being out on a ship, line handling, damage control, fire, ammunition, you know, cleaning, repairing, all that. Yeah, so if people are interested in, because, you know, I'm right now in a weird limbo where, you know, being in the Navy, being a video game streamer, it's like, do I make 2 separate channels? You know, do I make, you know, one and just kind of split it up? I might just do one channel where I do video games and Navy, and then if it gets big, you know, maybe split them up. Boot camp was fun. A school was fun. I've had positive experiences about everything. Well, I'm gonna end it here, and yeah, so I'm gonna end it here. Ba-doom, and we're gonna put the music up and mute my mic. You guys have a wonderful day.